I met you. It was close to.
In an alley?
No, it was on Hollywood Boulevard. No,
Rest my case.
the alley came later. But I met you. I think it was 7 years ago now.
Maybe
8 years ago.
It's hard to believe that COVID was 4 years ago, so I'm all lost. Almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's.
So I'm kind of like, really? That was 7 years ago?
I'm looking back on some of these things, and it's like, wow, this has been a long time. But I think it was 2017, and at the time, I had a roommate who wanted to go to this club, and she was like, "You got to get on Instagram. You got to do this." And I'm like, "Huh? What? Yeah, whatever." You know.
You're all, what's Instagram?
I'm like, whatever this. And so anyway, she ended up dragging me out to this club.
No pun intended.
And standing.
I'm just gonna talk shit. This is gonna be fun.
Standing on the steps was
my pedestal.
This guy who had all of these tattoos and all of this stuff, and frankly was very scary, intimidating, and I ended up going back to the club a few times, and we got to talking with each other, and somehow
you stood out like a sore thumb, You're a foot taller than everybody else.
I am a little bit tall, yes,
and you didn't bother dyeing your hair black or whatever. So here's this big woman with blonde hair just walks in, right, floating over everybody else. Yes. You couldn't be missed.
It was, when I first got in there, got to admit, I was a little intimidated by the whole
As
thing.
Everybody is. When you first went there, you were like, what the hell is this? Why do I feel like something's different here?
I was like, what is this? And it
was your first taste of freedom.
It really was. And I will admit, I had gotten a couple of tattoos before I got to know you. My first tattoo was when I was 50, and it was this little tribal sun on my stomach, which really made no sense, but I thought it was like really, wow, incredible. I'm getting a tattoo. Woo.
I love the way you said your stomach.
Well, that's where it was. It was between my stomach and just below my belly button, and it wasn't that far down. And so so I got that, and then I had gotten a tramp stamp that I had designed from some crap I had seen on.
You know, that's another word that somebody not in the tattoo world made up.
Really?
Tramp stamps.
Who made it up?
Probably jealous wives. Probably jealous wives, because why? The majority of the people that got it, the girls that got it, were either strippers or young college girls that had like this amazing figure, and it accented the lower back, and that's all it did.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, people that were jealous and haters started calling it a tramp stamp, like trying to put it down. Oh, you have a tramp stamp. You must have been a tramp.
Well, for a lot of time, the tattoos were looked down upon by most of society.
That's because people didn't know the history.
And so we've seen a big change over the last 20 years.
That's because the tattooed people took over as the old people died. See, people with tattoos went into the industry and decided, oh, well, I have tattoos, so I don't have to like conform to all this crap that the two generations before were doing.
I mean, even still today, there's still some law enforcement agencies which prohibit any
illegal
display of tattoos.
Yeah, there's a story about that too in LA, and it's my fault. I did the tattoo that got that cop fired and banned.
Oh, no.
And which made the LAPD put the sleeves on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a picture of his wife naked with cuffs over her nipples with his hat on.
Oh, geez.
That was it. Nothing was showing. You couldn't even read the badge number or anything, but some touchy person in the thing got offended. Said that tattoo made people look at her different, and she had a shape like me, so there was nothing that they were looking at. But still, I'm not body shaming, but I'm just telling you the story that happened. I'll body shame later.
I just,
I can remember his name, George something, Officer George, whatever.
I'm not sure.
He was a little midget dick, though.
Well,
Little
you've tattooed
Irishman cop. Yeah, I wonder why.
You've tattooed a lot of cops.
Yes.
And a lot of sheriffs and federal officials.
And no CHPs.
They don't allow it at all.
Girl Scouts will get that shit before the CHP will. No, they're just pussies.
So I was at this club. You saw me gradually kind of change a little bit. And then I thought I need to get a tattoo. And so
that was nice of you.
I went down to your shop and I got a picture of you in your shop there with your flash and rates and other things.
Look, there's barely any gray hair.
It's
my computer worked.
Yeah. It was a
Bob
few years
broke
ago.
that computer. Look at it, all this QAnon conspiracy stuff. My computer just decided to fizz away.
And so
what'd you do to it?
I visited your shop and we started working on some tattoos.
Yeah, you had really good ideas.
So before we get to, my tattoos and all that, let's hear a little bit about you.
Well, I went to Juilliard.
No, you didn't. You're originally from LA.
Born and raised in Hollywood. I was literally born on Romaine, right by Gower, literally half a block away from the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Like, that doesn't explain anything.
Did you spend a lot of time there when you were growing up?
No, because at like a year and a half, we moved to the Sunset Strip right across the street from Rocker Ralph's.
Oh, wow.
It says Rock and Roll Ralph's, but nobody called it that back then. It was just Rocker Ralph's.
Just Rocker Ralph's?
Yeah, Rocker Ralph's.
And your mom was involved in
My great-grandmother was in the industry. She was an actress and a singer. My grandmother was in the industry as a model, and she tried to be an actress, didn't work, so she ended up being a taxi dancer. You know what a taxi dancer is?
Oh, yeah, the dance club.
Very low-end prostitute.
10 cents a dance.
10 cents a dance. She didn't put out or anything, but I'm just saying that. And then she went on to more darker things in Hollywood with, Mickey Cohen.
Ah. Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Eddie Nash, if people even know who Eddie Nash is.
Well,
Eddie Nash made Mickey Cohen look like a bitch.
Eddie Nash was the dealer in Hollywood. And the enforcer.
Wonderland murders.
The Wonderland murders are all tied to him. There's a documentary out now about that.
There's Boogie Nights where the Eddie Nash character is in there with the little Asian dude throwing firecrackers.
Firecrackers, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So my grandma worked for him.
Oh, wow.
But then my grandma also had this other stuff going on. My mom was in music and the music industry. She saw the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. And then later she met my dad on the Strip and she was the manager of his band. She was also a waitress at Dupar. She was a waitress at Canner's, and she was a waitress at the Rainbow.
Oh, wow.
I had a birthday party. I don't know how any of that keeps happening. Yeah.
And so she was in the club scene and stuff.
Later in the late 70s, she my parents got divorced when I was 9, or split up. So that was 76. So by 78, 79, she was finding herself, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to be this and and it was kind of cool. It's kind of embarrassing because your friends are like, your mom's a kook. She listens to Led Zeppelin. You have a mohawk. But yeah. And then she eventually got involved with the Music Machine, which at the time was called the Cowboy.
Yeah.